Hello guys! Let's today start learning how can we design and implement many-to-many relationship in Salesforce. Let's immediately start with example to get into it. Let's assume we are the Salesforce school and we have students, 1, 2, 3, many students, and we also have lesson units, like 1, 2, 3, many lessons, many units we want to teach them. So how can we track in Salesforce which user passes which unit? For example, first user passes second unit, this time, this result, and so on. Can we take a user record and put just a reference to a unit record? No, because one student can pass all the units, many units. So if we need to keep tracking all this reference from one student to all these units. Okay, then maybe can we take a unit, put reference to the student learning it? No, because one unit can be assigned to many students, to all the students. So each student can learn each unit and each unit can be learned by each student. How can we implement it in Salesforce? Let's go to Salesforce. First, we need to create custom objects for all our entities. Custom objects, new. We learned how to create custom objects in previous video. Look at it if you didn't. So the first object will be student, right? Okay. I always advise to keep this unique primary key as a number to avoid worrying about making it unique. So let's Salesforce carry it. And we need to create some required fields for our students. Okay, we create text fields. It will be last name, the maximum length, 255. Again, do not worry about it anymore. Make it visible, default by now, and it's by default added to the page detail layout. We need another field like first name. The same way, right? The same as the last name. We are creating the first name, text type field. Next. And we also need student email. Okay, we created it. And don't forget to create a tab for new custom object to get it visible in our application. We also did it in our previous lesson. Check it. Then we create another object for lesson units, right? We create new object and we again create tab for it. After that, we create an application in App Manager. Please check how to create application in our first lesson. So we have this Salesforce School application. We created the same way as in the first lesson. And let's check. We have all the required tabs here and add. If we don't, we can edit navigate items. So here we have tutorial units and we add students. We need these two tabs in our app to work with. And how do we implement the relationship between these two objects? We implement the relationship as a separate custom object. Look here, we create custom object and let's name it student lesson. Student lessons as plural and again number as a unique primary key. And put this format. Fine. Start with 1 again. Yeah, we created the third object, which role is to be a relationship between student and a unit. So, to do this, we need the following fields to be added to this object. The fields must be a lookup relationship. That means this field is the reference to another object. And we select from the object list, we select our student object. Let's search for it. Yeah, student. Okay, fine. Name it after the object name student and save it. So now our new object, which is a relationship, have the reference to the student object. And the second one, guess what? Of course, we need another reference, lookup relationship lookup field to the tutorial unit. Let's name it again after object tutorial units. Make it visible by default, and by default it's already included the detail page. That's fine. So we created all we need. Let's go to our application. How can we open it? Here, click these dots and use this search field, Salesforce School. We open our application. This have two tabs, students, and let's select all list view and we can pin it. Let's create a first student, John Doe, and put the email here. Save. Okay, we have one student already. Here's the student detail page. And let's create another student to have not one. We can create it with the clone button. It doesn't make sense here because we need to change all the fields, but keep in mind you can use this clone button instead of new if you have repeated values on several records. It's useful. And when we go to the Students tab, we can see these two students. Let's go to the tutorial units, and the same way we create lessons or units. But as we can see, this list view is not informative. Let's customize it. Select fields to display. Let's select a unit title, okay, and unit content. And let's see what we get. Yeah, we get better list view. We can see which unit is what, the title and the URL of the content. And let's do the same with our students list view, because it's only identifiers for them. Select fields to display. We of course need to add first name, we add last name, and email it. Now we can see this good looking list view of students. When we click this identifier, we fell into the students detail and we can see this related tab here. And look what, when we created this relationship object, we added it already to the related list. And here you can see all the lessons assigned to the students. And from here we can assign new lessons to these students. Let's click New to create a new record of this relationship. What we need here is only to select a lesson unit to which we refer. Save it and it appears in this students list. But it's only again identifier of the relationship which is not much informative. Let's go to setup and change the stuff. How we can do it? Let's go to objects. Let's use search box, student. Okay, fine. Let's open student. And here we can see this page layout option. Let's click this option and we can see the page layout settings. Here we have field section, which I added to the detail page. And here we have related list, which I added to the related tab. Do you remember the record detail page? And here we can see the student lessons related list. Let's customize it. Now we can only see the reference to this relationship record, and we want to add a reference to the unit lesson itself, so we could see it right from the student's card. Okay, so we customize it, and what we can see, yeah, it appears in related list. Let's go to lessons list now and open this unit. First unit we assign to the student, and go to related, and what we can see, yes, we can see the reference to this relation. We can see the one student assigned to this lesson. But how else can we work with this relationship? We've seen we can add them from student detail and from lesson detail. Another way, we can create separate tab for this relationship object. Let's add a tab. And now we can include this tab to our application. And we can create this relationship right here from the separate tab. Right? Here's the new relationship we can see. We created it before from students. Let's customize the list again. Let's add a created date to know when we assigned a student to a lesson. And let's add a student reference, and let's add tutorial unit reference, right? So now from this separate tab, we can see all these relations, all the information. We can click to student, check the student data, and we can click to unit to check the unit data. And we can work from this tab if we like. Let's create another relationship. Let's select the other student and let's select the unit to assign the student from this search box. Save it. And we have another relationship. Student 2 assigned to unit 2. We can see all this assignment in this one tab. We can find this relationship from students card in related list. Do you remember? Here's the reference to the unit assigned to the students. And we can find the related relationship in the units, checking these units, related, and assign students. This related list needs to be customized as we did for students record page, but that's fine for now. We implemented the many-to-many relationship in Salesforce. We can assign many users to one unit, and we can assign many units to one student via the separate object which represents relationship. Cool enough?